Man, things just keep getting worse for Mark Meadows, Donald Trump's former chief of staff. This week, of course, as we had previously discussed, Talking Points Memo got a hold of thousands of text messages that had been sent to Mark Meadows, Republican lawmakers calling for martial law, not knowing how to spell things, offering their assistance to do whatever they could to help overturn the election for Donald Trump. All of these sent to Mark Meadows, and now, thanks to Talking Points Memo, public. But that may actually be the least of Mark Meadows' problems right now, because the man could be facing very serious criminal charges for voter fraud in the state of North Carolina. Earlier this year, it was revealed that Mark Meadows had registered to vote in the state of North Carolina in 2020, using an address of a rented mobile home with a dilapidated tin roof, claiming, yep, this is where I live full time, because that's the rule. In order to register to vote in North Carolina, you got to live there full time. And Mark Meadows had, through his filing to register for vote, said, yep, I live in this mobile home that's falling apart. Except that the owner of the mobile home said Mark Meadows never went there. Ever. And once that information became public, finally officials in North Carolina thought, wait a minute. Now, he registered to vote in Virginia in 2021. He was previously registered to vote in South Carolina. Now somehow he's registered in North Carolina, never once stepped foot in this mobile home he's renting. Maybe we ought to look into this. Oh, and by the way, we also sent his absentee ballot that he had requested to Washington, D.C. instead of the mobile home. So they conducted their investigation. And this week it was announced that the results of that investigation have now been sent to the state attorney general office. Now, we don't know what is in that final report that was sent to the state attorney general. And that is because this is a criminal matter. And this is what the investigator said. Because it's a criminal matter and because it has been referred, we are not allowed to release the contents of that file. It will now be up to the Attorney General not to conduct a new investigation, but to determine whether or not to file criminal charges. That is the stage that we're at. Okay, the investigation's done. Now, here's the interesting thing. Had these investigators not found something, they would not have turned it over to the state attorney general's office to see if they want to file charges. If they didn't find anything that looked bad, they would have said, well, we conducted the investigation. You know, he was there a couple times. We were able to verify. So he technically nothing wrong. We can't charge him. End of story. Attorney General, don't waste your time on this. So the fact that they did turn it over tells me they found something. And of course, Mark Meadows was one of the key players in the Trump organization screaming at the top of his lungs about voter fraud in the 2020 election. And now we know that it may be because he could be one of the people who committed voter fraud, which is pretty much par for the course with all of these Republicans screaming about voter fraud, pointing fingers at everybody else, forgetting that they've got three fingers pointing right back at them. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share. But again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.